beneficent. Thank you so much, Excellency, Mr. Chairman. It feels so good and honored to be one of the keynote speakers in the Third World Youth Conference for Summit for Peace. I had been listening to so many big names, big leaders. God bless all of them. And I'm so happy to see our past Prime Minister, His Excellency, Mr. Yusuf Raza Gilani. Despite his big responsibilities, he's still there. Ambassador Michael, so good to see you here. And I was so happy that some of my fellow New Yorkers are here, but you told us that you're back home for vacation, but good to see you here. So many boggling in the mind-blowing information and speeches we have heard. We have done some of our own research. His Excellency Ambassador Michael mentioned 40% of the world population is under 25. What a wonderful, wonderful piece of information. Thank you so much, Excellency, for sharing this. But let's look at the comparison. We looked at the elected officials in different countries around the world. The total elected officials around the world, only 7% are under the age of 40. Only 3% are under the age of 25. What a horrible number. Honestly, it shocks me. All right, let's move on to some other numbers. We have 7 SDGs of the United Nations. Of course, indirectly, one, the quality education is related to the youth as well. There is no specific sustainable development goal for the youth to protect or to empower them. And I suggest Ambassador Michael and Ambassador Majid Sechan and all my colleagues to please work on this and empower youth and add some specific empowerment of youth, sustainable development goal, not just the commission or the committee or the youth representatives. So there should be something development. Now, Excellency, Mr. Chairman, I suggest to add 2 points in the resolution when we issue the joint communique after this conference. One of the Deputy Secretary General or the Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations should be under the age of 40 to empower the future leaders of the world. I also suggest that the 77th president of UNGA should be under the age of 40. We should also consider this, and we should also promote this idea of having the president of 77th session of General Assembly under the age of 40. I can assure you, we definitely, the experience and expertise matters, but we have many of those people, young leaders who can make very good decisions as a next UNGA president. I also suggest that we, just like I think Ambassador Michael mentioned that we should work with the cities, empower the youth. Yes, we should also encourage the different countries and the different cities to elect more youth into their councils, into their Congress, into their elected positions. So we're talking about youth. We did not talk about the youth of DR Congo. We did not talk about the youth of Sudan, Somaliland, Myanmar. Oh, by the way, somebody talked about Myanmar, and I think it was Ambassador Chan. What about youth of Afghanistan? And what about youth of my own home state of Kashmir? Why don't we talk about an 8-year-old young girl being raped by a mob in the Hindu mandir for 8 days? What about the right of that 8-year-old young girl who was raped for 8 days and then brutally killed? What was the fault? What was the mistake she had? Just because she was born and raised or being raised in the war zones. The United Nations Security Council promised my people, the people of Kashmir, 73 years ago, the right to self-determination. Why don't we talk about the youth being killed in the streets of Kashmir every single day? Why don't we talk about 24 resolutions that promise those youth the right to self-determination? Why don't we talk about the right to live with dignity, respect, and security and safety in state of Jammu and Kashmir? I think enough have been spoken when it comes to speeches. We speak a lot, we discuss a lot. All of us, we do little, we can do a lot. I'm going to take my responsibility, and I'm going to announce this in front of all you honorable, dignified leaders of the world, the prime ministers, the presidents, the ambassadors. I'm going to make my promise in front of you that we will provide, the International Human Rights Commission will provide the world's largest platform to the youth of the world, just like Facebook, but it will not be just, we'll provide them elected official positions. We will promote them as young ambassadors. We will promote them as the deputy ambassador. And by the way, we also did a little bit more research. Out of almost 200 countries in the United Nations, not even one single ambassador is under the age of 40. Not even one single deputy ambassador, except Ambassador Chan, is under the age of 40. So why don't we give opportunity to people to empower them under the age of 40? And as a matter of fact, last week I met a young man. He's advisor to the ambassador, one of the ambassadors in United Nations. 26, 27 years old, young person. What a brilliant young person. And I'm sure he must be listening. Young man, Del Wall from Spain. If he's given a chance to work as a third or fourth person in hierarchy of his country, I'm sure he will be a wonderful, wonderful addition as an ambassador or deputy ambassador in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So I think this is our responsibility, that we should also give opportunity to our youth to become ambassadors or deputy ambassadors. So coming back to my pledge, we will provide the world's largest platform to the youth to interact with them, not just for social purposes, to promote education, to provide them jobs, to provide them trainings, and to build a very big, world's largest volunteer organization where we can train them, register them, and wherever there is a natural calamity or natural disaster, our volunteers will be ready to serve any country in the world, any country, any nation in the world. A tech company from United Kingdom, they promised us to provide us this platform. And soon, once the pandemic eases a little bit, I will be traveling to UK to have this conversation. We have also engaged some friends from United Arab Emirates who are willing to partner with us to provide this opportunity to the youth. And we need technical know-how from all of you, excellencies. We need your guidance, we need your support, we need your help. Alone, we cannot do it, but International Human Rights Commission is here to serve every single human being of the world with your guidance, with your help. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman and excellencies, and it's so good to be a part of you. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador.